So let's do the chanting right off. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Tadayambi Buddham saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tadayambi Sangham saranam gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and causes. May they never be parted from the happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until cyclic existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are, I vow to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are, I vow to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are, I vow to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is, I vow to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam gati gati parasam gati buddhi soha. Tayatam gati gati parasam gati buddhi soha. Tayatam gati parasam gati buddhi soha. So now get yourself comfortable for some meditation practice. Initially, we will release the tension from the body. Oh, by the way, I hope you are well. I hope that if you have some issues here and there, that the issues aren't too big. I just share with you, Mum, in the living room there. You've got something right in the middle of your camera. I think it's your cord. There you go. Anyway, yeah, I hope even if you've got issues, I hope they're small. Hope you can deal with them well. And like I said, I hope you're well, keeping good mind, nice and relaxed and calm, patient mind. Always practicing the six paramitas of generosity, morality, patience, effort, concentration, and wisdom to develop them, accumulate them, eventually perfect them. So now bring your mind inside the body. And let's release the tension from the bottom to the top. So releasing from all around your feet, and your lower legs, your knees, and the upper legs, all around your midsection, and your upper torso, your abdomen, sides, lower back to the center of your back. All around your chest and underneath your arms and your upper back. Pay particular attention to releasing the tension from your rhomboid muscles, lateral muscles, upper trap muscles that run between the neck and the shoulders. And from your shoulders, upper arms and elbows, forearms and wrists, hands, fingers, and thumbs. And then from all around your neck, in the back of your head, sides of your head, and all around your face. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw, that your lips are just gently touching. The tongue is relaxed and resting on the upper palate in the mouth. And you're not frowning. And finally, the crown of your head. And now briefly scan your body again. And if there's any leftover tension, release that. And bring your mind to the tip of your nose initially. And follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose all the way into your lungs, back out your nose again. You can add the extra technique of counting the breaths if you like, from 1 to 10. 1 in breath and 1 out breath is 1, and so on. But if you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So as you are practicing, whether you're utilizing this extra technique or not, just focusing on the feeling of the breath, if any thoughts arise or any mental activities whatsoever arise, don't cling to them, don't grasp at them, but also don't try to force them away. That's extra stuff. And also don't deny them, but simply let them go naturally by replacing, or as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if you start to become dull mentally, then wake your mind up a little bit, brighten it, focusing on the feeling of the breath more brightly. So let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness. Visualizing our whole being filling with the white light, which represents this universal loving kindness, along with the feeling. Very important, the feeling of universal loving kindness, that you're filling yourself with this feeling as well. Universal loving kindness, or the word metta, is multifaceted. It includes friendship, goodwill, harmlessness, forgiveness, appreciation, respect, gratitude, and so on. Universal loving kindness, when we practice this, we are practicing the wish that all living beings, without exception, have happiness and have the causes of happiness. Whilst it's not separate from universal compassion. Compassion is the wish for all beings to be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. So now we are wishing this for ourselves. May we be happy and engage in the causes of happiness. May we be free from suffering and free from engaging in the causes of suffering. May we be peaceful. Fill yourself with so much universal loving kindness that it now overflows, radiates outwards from your heart center and enters into the heart centers of your loved ones initially that are in front of you, filling their whole being with the universal loving kindness too. And likewise, have the wish that they are happy and are engaging in the causes of happiness, that they are free from suffering and free from engaging in the causes of suffering, and that they are happy, peaceful. Now also include those you may regard as strangers. Maybe you know them a little bit or not at all. And do likewise, radiating this white light, representing the universal loving kindness, whilst also having the wish that they are happy and have the causes of happiness, that they are free from suffering and free from the causes of suffering, that they are peaceful. And also include those you may regard as enemies too. Extend and radiate this loving kindness in the form of the white light to them, leaving your heart center and entering into their heart centers too. May all of these people have happiness, be free from suffering, and be peaceful. So now let's radiate the loving kindness beyond just human beings to all sentient beings now, without exception. Initially around your immediate area, all sentient beings, whether weak or strong, great or small, short or tall, seen or unseen, near or distant, born or to be born, may they all be happy, free from suffering, and be peaceful. Sentient beings that live on the land, under the land, fly through the air, live in the waters, whether they're born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation, whether you know about them or not, whether they're in realms of existence that we're aware of or other ones. Whether they're coming into birth, start of this lifetime, during this lifetime, or coming towards the end of their lifetime. or in the intermediate state between the death and the birth. May all of these sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. And may they be peaceful. Now let's extend this loving kindness out further and further distance-wise to all sentient beings throughout our state or county. And all of the states and counties throughout our country. And all of the countries throughout the world. You can start with those ones that you're familiar with and have an affinity towards. And those you're indifferent towards, which is most of them. And those that, for whatever reason, you may have some sort of negative feelings towards. Have your loving kindness pervade throughout all of the countries on this planet and throughout all of the oceans, which host most of the life on this planet, and through all of the bodies of water as well, like lakes and rivers and so on, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And beyond this planet alone, throughout the whole solar system. And the whole galaxy. And universe and beyond. Have your loving kindness pervade throughout infinite space. Whilst also being present here and now to recite the dedication prayer. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. And may the precious view of shunyata, not yet born, arise and grow. May that born have no decline, but increase forevermore. So let's continue the commentary on Master Atisha's heart advice. And just remind you that we've stopped to give some more detail during this part that includes the teachings or the lines expressing the 6 paramitas or 6 transcendental perfections. Okay, so we've already had a look at the first 3, the perfection of generosity or dana paramita, the perfection of morality or discipline, sila paramita, the perfection of patience or shanti paramita. Today we'll have a look in detail at the virya paramita, which is the perfection of effort or perfection of persevering, enthusiastic perseverance. And then of course we have the perfection of concentration coming up, or you could say samadhi paramita or dhyana paramita, and then also the prajna paramita as well, the perfection of wisdom coming up. Of course, what I'm trying to do, because we've had these teachings in depth before and spent, even weeks and weeks on each aspect of each one, I just kind of giving an overview, but also trying my best to give you something else to think about, which is in the spirit of these teachings by Master Atisha, because he's expressing them in slightly a different way than probably what we are used to, which is excellent. Okay, so it gives us a real round view of things, So I'll just recite these 6 lines to you again. Distracting enjoyments have no essence, therefore sincerely practice giving. So practice generosity, develop the paramita, or the perfection of generosity. Always keep pure moral discipline, for it leads to beauty in this life and happiness hereafter. So accumulate and practice, eventually perfect this morality or perfection of morality or discipline. Then, since hatred is rife in these impure times, don the armor of patience, free from anger. In other words, we should develop, practice, accumulate, eventually perfect this perfection of patience. Remember that when we talk about perfect or perfection, normally we think of it from a dualistic way, a dualistic standpoint. And so it's the opposite of imperfect. But the paramita means to go beyond. So beyond the dualistic way of thinking. So it's actually beyond perfect as we would think of it. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But we're using words here, okay? Remember, words are imperfect too. But we have to use words to explain things and to contemplate things because we're used to it. Words, concept behind the words, meaning behind the words. And really, though, it's unthinkable, inexpressible, isn't it? So that's the beyond. But right now, we're not beyond. Okay, so now we still think opposite of imperfect is perfect. Okay. Even though, from a conceptual point of view, we know that this is beyond perfect. Okay. I know that you know. Okay. I know that I know, but we haven't penetrated it totally. And you can kind of say uprooted or overcome this dualistic way of thinking it. You remain in samsara through the power of laziness. Therefore, ignite the fire of the effort of application. That's what we'll look at today. So the paramita, or perfection of effort, or enthusiastic perseverance. The virya paramita. Virya, literally translated, means energy. Since this human life is wasted by indulging in distractions, now is the time to practice concentration. Obviously refers to the perfection of concentration, or dhyana paramita. You could also express that as samadhi paramita. Dhyana means to absorb the mind, and also samadhi means one-pointed concentration. Being under the influence of wrong views, you do not realize the ultimate nature of things. Therefore, investigate correct meanings. So utilize the three wisdom tools of the wisdom of hearing, the wisdom of contemplation, and the wisdom of meditation or absorption. Okay, so what's the date today? I think I'm still up to date. Good. 12th of July. The year's going by very quickly. I put down the dates next to each line to see whether I could just remember where I'm at basically the next week without thinking about it. And so this line says, so I should say this first. Vidya paramita, or the perfection of enthusiastic perseverance, obviously includes the element of enthusiasm and the perseverance. So we persevere always in our practice. We should do our best to maintain enthusiasm for our practice, heading in the right direction, based on understanding. And when our enthusiasm wanes a little, we still persevere. We make more effort to persevere until the enthusiasm comes back. You could almost say enthusiasm's like, it's like you're riding a horse or riding an elephant or something like that. We've made the effort to continue. We still make the effort to guide the horse or the elephant, if you like. But they're the ones doing the work because of they represent our enthusiasm, because our enthusiasm carries us in our practice. But there are other times when we really need to persevere because maybe we're tired, Maybe we're, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe disheartened, maybe don't feel great, things like that, okay? Um, so the three types of the perfection of effort or enthusiastic perseverance is the effort to maintain a wholesome state of mind, the effort to relinquish unwholesome states of mind, and the effort to maintain this enthusiasm. And also to note here that all of this is motivated, you could say, by the bodhicitta intention. The intention to attain, the altruistic intention to attain supreme enlightenment for the benefit of others. Okay, so let's have a look at his line. You remain in samsara through the power of laziness. So we have, you could say there's a few different types of laziness. One of them is just obvious laziness, where we um, really don't feel like doing good things, heading in the right direction. We just keep putting it off. Maybe this has an element there of procrastination, thinking we're going to do it later, but continually putting it off, filling your life with other things. There's also the laziness really that comes through just habit. This is the way you live. Whether it's the laziness is active or whether it's very um, lethargic, really not doing anything, just sitting on the couch, not doing the practice, thinking, I can't be bothered. But also there's, and I just alluded to it, there's the active laziness of filling our lives with so many things, so many distractions, worldly activities, that we continually put it off. An expression of that would be, like a business person, for instance, or somebody going to work in an office or something, or it could be any job really. But I'll just utilize this example. In the nighttime, maybe you think, oh, I need to practice. Really have an epiphany in the nighttime. Wake up to yourself a little bit and think, I need to stop doing all of this, these worldly activities and just focusing on them. I need to practice while I'm doing them, but also when I'm not doing them. I need to put a time aside to practice as well, formally on the cushion. And then you get up in the morning and the old habit comes out. You clean your teeth, you go to the toilet, you maybe have some breakfast, coffee or tea, and then out comes the briefcase and off you go again, like the hamster on the wheel, going round, 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 round. Can't get off. But we need to make the effort to get off that hamster wheel. Hopefully you understand my example. Our habits are very thick, especially we think, oh, we have to do this, have to do that. And we're so busy, so can't even slow the mind down enough to think, I need to relax more. I need to purify my mind more. I need to develop this concentration more. We're so fast, so busy that we can't even give ourselves time to think about that. So now we need to think about it, but not only think about it, actually implement it, put it into practice. The great efforts. Work to perfect this effort. As the lion says, you remain in samsara through the power of laziness. Therefore, ignite the fire of the effort of application. So I said, implement it, but apply it. Apply it to your life. Apply all of the Dharma teachings to your life. If you think about these parameters, apply generosity, apply morality, discipline, apply patience, apply this effort with enthusiasm, apply the practice of meditation, and apply or utilize your ability to investigate and analyze so that you can realize eventually the nature of reality, the wisdom. So, yeah, just replace the laziness. If we're fine, we're being lazy, don't be down on ourselves. Just realize it and practice. Now, I mentioned just before briefly, you could be doing other things. You could be watching TV. You could be eating a meal. You could be working, whatever your work is. You could be studying. Just keep your mind upright. Practice mindfulness in that moment and those moments, awareness, conscientiousness, and apply the Dharma in whatever you're doing, whatever it may be. First of all, make sure it's not harmful, that it is harmless, that it is beneficial. If it's not, avoid those activities. But most of these activities I've just mentioned really are neutral. Depends on your intention behind them. And also, are you practicing Dharma? If you are, while you engage in these activities, that's good. If you're not, change that. Make sure you do practice the Dharma during these activities. Um, so I think that's enough from the actual teaching there. And we'll actually, like I said, we'll do the next one next week. Wisdom the week after. So concentration next week, wisdom the week after. And then we'll just have a look at the, kind of give a conclusions. Maybe 1, 2, 3, who knows? Until we, exhaust this teaching. Of course, the teaching is never exhausted until we realize enlightenment. Still not exhausted because then we have to teach it to others. So the effort, remember in the Eightfold Path, the right effort, the paramita of effort or perfection of effort includes maintaining a wholesome state of mind, having wholesome thoughts, and relinquishing unwholesome thoughts and state of mind. So, if you have wholesome thoughts that have arisen in your mind already, keep them, nurture them, even applying the wisdom teachings, wisdom tools. You can work out what they are, you can increase them, eventually perfect them. If you don't have wholesome thoughts arisen in your mind yet, adopt them and then do likewise. If you have unwholesome thoughts in your mind already, get rid of them, eradicate them. They're not only unhelpful, they are harmful. You can utilize your wisdom to realize what they are. These mental afflictions, you can decrease them, eventually eradicate them totally by uprooting ignorance, actually. If you don't have unwholesome thoughts in your mind, protect your mind from having them arise. This covers the first two aspects of the right or perfect effort, perfection of effort. And the third one, as I mentioned before, is enthusiasm, maintaining enthusiasm for the practice. Now, maintaining this enthusiasm, you can base it on knowing, in a sense, abstractly, how good the Dharma, how good the Dharma is, by contemplating the goodness already that you have realized along the way, the improvements, etc. But you can also put it into practice and then realize in that moment the good things that are happening in that moment. Excuse me. Sneeze. So the practice, as we put it into practice, like let's say, for instance, we're practicing making the effort to meditate. You can realize that your mind is calming down. Your mind is becoming clearer at that moment. Utilize the contemplation meditation. Contemplate that. This will give rise to more and more enthusiasm for the practice. Also, maybe I can use the example of generosity. When you are giving, be generous. Or when you are disciplined, being moral, benefiting others. This gives rise to a natural good feeling inside you. Unless you stop yourself from having it. Don't do that through habit. But natural feeling of goodness when you're giving something, benefiting somebody, when you are engaging in good actions of body, speech, and mind. Naturally, this gives rise to a good feeling. Recognize that. This will help you to maintain this enthusiasm. So I know we're under a minute. Just then I was checking the time. And I rejoice in your goodness as always. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Do your best to study and hear the Dharma. And the same, do your best to practice and do your best to share the Dharma in whatever way. Could be just through your thoughts and attitude, good attitude, or your words, your actions, and so on. Thank you. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya.